swear the chicks is thicker. Reppin' for the team, that's the bench of Houston sippers. She don't want your liquor, she don't want your chipper. She poppin' for a legend, that's a real massa flipper. This is for la raza, this is for la raza. I'm in my trap, casa whipping up the damn massa.
All right, episode number 74. This your boy Chingo Bling. It's the What Did He Said podcast. I have my lovely co-host slash wife slash accountant slash lawyer slash momager.
Damn.
Marisol.
Hello, everyone.
We have producer Rob, man.
What's up?
When I saw Rob today, I said, "Hey, man, we pass handshakes.
For
Give me
real.
a hug, dog.
Yeah.
We hug around here." We just landed in Texas 2 days ago. Tired as a motherfucker. So I miss you guys. I miss this microphone. I miss this room. I miss this soil. You know I'm loyal to the soil. And we were, not to ruin it, but the past couple episodes were pre-recorded.
Of course.
Yes.
Sorry guys, but it's what we had to do. So we just got back from California and it was intense. We showed up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Like I was like, hey guys, like sharing every moment. Like I'm in acting class.
I went from, no joke, Rob, from having like 7,000 views, 8,000 views on my profile. It's to 2,000 right now.
Why? What do you mean?
I haven't been posting. I haven't been doing anything.
Oh, I thought you was finna flex. And
For
like
real?
now I'm at 30,000
70,
views.
you know?
A
because
minute.
it's like, well, this girl ain't got shit on her story happening, so why am I going to check her out? So it's dropped so much because I haven't really been posting, you know? So
I felt like I'd seen quite a bit of stuff, but I mean, maybe not.
Well, we're
well,
sti-
today I'm back at it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have the time now.
And you know what we were saying the other night, laying in bed, just exhausted, trying to like let your body be accustomed from, because we literally, it was a hard pivot. We literally like moved for a month. Like moving alone is hard, but moving, getting accustomed to things like, okay, this is the grocery store. Okay, this is how, you know, this is my surroundings. To, all right, we're starting to get into a groove. It's starting to kind of feel cozy. And then to pivot back
And
quickly
it's like
to another move back home.
Right when we got into a routine, it was
Yeah.
like, oh, hi,
So it's
time
not,
to go back.
It's not like you're going to McAllen for a weekend. It's like you moved and then you're moving again. So even the baby was like, what the fuck is this walker thing? Like she
was walking like Bambi on the walker, and you've seen how she takes off.
the
like
walker
she
used to be her
runs.
shit. They were like merged in as one. She would go reverse, pivot, all kind of stuff. And she gets back, she's like, I don't know how to do this anymore. And she like looked around at her surroundings. She's like, I kind of remember this place.
Yeah.
And then Luisa showed up, and Penny was like kind of out of it, asleep in the morning. And it's like, it was kind of abrupt. You know, I was like, hey, baby, look. Oh, mira, ¿quién es, mija? ¿Quién es? Mira, es Luisa. And she's just like, she's just like hugging on to me. And poor Luisa was like, oh,
Her
no.
feelings were hurt.
Like, she forgot who I am type of thing. But she got over it, you know, real quick. She remembered. But,
I feel special now. Give me that high five real quick.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm wearing shorts like a motherfucker. Like, first of all, L.A., I have to give y'all props. West Coast, I can't even front. And don't worry, this is not an In-N-Out, you know, burger situation. I know Rob looking at me like, motherfucker, is this going where I think it's going?
I'm waiting for it.
But, like, the weather, it's, like, dry. It's not humid, but it's warm. And there's a breeze. And then the scenery's nice. There's hills and mountains and traffic
Homeless
sucks.
people everywhere. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we got our fair share of homeless.
some.
But our homeless be humid. Like, our homeless be sticky. It's hot. Over there, they cool. Over there, their homeless don't even really bug you that much. Except, but when they do, they tell you specifically, like, bro, I'm going to need at least $6. I don't need $1. Like, what the fuck I'm going to do with this dollar? It's inflation
They
over
are
here.
in L.A., though, so...
Well,
I
the
mean,
minimum wage
shit.
minimum wage out there is $15.
Did you know
What?
that?
I had no idea.
Yes.
Damn.
Rob's like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The cost of
Yeah, we need to
living,
talk
though,
about
is insane.
Rob's like, I need Cali prices, bro, to produce this podcast.
But shit, everything's twice as expensive. So really, I mean, do they make that much more when they're spending,
They
you know,
don't.
so
No,
much
I think
more?
I think out there,
I think it's equivalent to probably...
I would say,
yeah.
yeah, I think out there 15 is still like starvation, not starvation
But
prices,
it's
but
not.
like
I don't think it's
hard to
enough.
get ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be worried about where you live.
Because
Yeah.
parking, like even the food, like you go out to eat and it's like, oh, what do you want? You want lemonade? Okay, cool. And then you get the bill and it's like, damn, okay, well, shit.
That's the meal for the week, everyone.
You better finish that lemonade. But anyway, man.
We didn't... I'll be honest with you. We very rarely ate out.
Yeah.
Y'all look good. Y'all look like y'all stuck to everything y'all were talking about.
Honestly, bro.
No?
At Agent Sean, who's gonna put us through some plyometrics and some hit some intensity. Probably next week, not this week.
Not this week. You got to bounce back.
I need to ease into.
For real.
You know why? Because the only exercise we really got. I'm gonna tell you. This is what it was. Hey, babe, I'm gonna take the luggage downstairs and put it in the vehicle. Oh, look, the apartment gym is right here. I'm just gonna do a couple little sets of curls or squats.
Do you know like how when you go work out with someone, you alternate, right?
For
like
sure,
it's
yeah.
your turn, my turn. So for us, it was, all right, I'm going to get on, you watch Penny. So he was watching Penny while I did a set, and then we were taking turns.
And that was really only like once or twice at the condo gym. Mainly it was just walking. It was just steps, because where we were in the North Hollywood Arts District, it's this little like 1 mile radius where supposedly there's a lot of like theaters and clubs and acting classes and it's in, I guess, technically the Valley. It's not in LA. But anyway, everything was really convenient and like super developed and modern. Like in terms of Marisol's routine was she'd walk to Coffee Bean. Like, ya la conocían. Like,
listen.
every day.
Oh, wait a minute. I remember
Rob,
this. You went bad on our
She
Starbucks.
said, fuck Starbucks.
Rob.
Meanwhile, she's drinking it right now.
Listen, because there's not a Coffee Bean here. Rob, you are a coffee fanatic as much as I am.
For sure.
Let me tell you something. I never thought I'd cheat on my green queen, but I cheated on her with Coffee Bean.
On a Green Mermaid Queen.
I cheated
Is that
on the
much
green
Every day.
queen
Like, she had a fling
with the Coffee Bean.
with Coffee Bean.
I had my cup that I would take every morning. They would fill it up with their nitro cold brew. Their nitro cold brew, bro.
Another
I
level?
was lit.
So now,
I needed to be lit the entire day because I was taking care of 2 children and trying to still run a business.
Yeah.
So imagine that. And so I needed as much coffee as possible.
yeah,
Like, I think I drank more coffee there than I've ever drank here.
in my life.
Yo, that's saying something because y'all don't know how much coffee everyone here drinks.
Exactly.
Well, especially her,
Yeah.
because she be ordering like the tall,
The venti.
the venti cold brew. So cold brew is already highly concentrated.
Yeah.
So they'd refill my water bottle, and then they'd fill up my cup, and so I have a water in my coffee
Straight
cup.
LA.
So it was this, and it was a listen.
It was a great experience.
It was a great experience. It was something that I definitely felt we probably. I never thought we would have done, but it was like pretty cool, and I'm glad that we did jump into it. If I was a strictly stay-at-home mom where I didn't actually have a job, does that make sense? I probably would have been easy. But the fact that I work for Chingo, and I help do a lot of the logistics and the production part of it on the tour, it made it extremely hard. So issues would happen. I wasn't able to be there to, solve the problem. Yeah, exactly. So that was the only part that was hard. But on a good note, I was actually able to observe everything that was happening, which was crazy because I sat there and thought, damn, all these connections Chingo has made out here in just the short amount of time. I can't believe it. Like,
Yeah.
tons of stage time, tons of opportunity,
Tons.
and I'm sure.
I don't think we saw you enough, babe, at night. Like you were
Man,
out.
I asked him how many shows you did. He said almost one a day at least.
Damn near.
Yeah.
I had a couple days off.
That's
but not
crazy.
only that, but for the first 3 weeks, I had acting class stuff, so rehearsals.
Oh yeah, for
like 3 hours a day.
how many weeks?
2.
For
I
almost
think the
2 weeks,
rehearsals were
yeah.
2 weeks, but it was 3 hours a day, and you had to do like makeup classes. The second week, I kind of got senioritis, so I hope Leslie Kahn and the teachers over there are not listening. But some of my peers were like, "We'll just say you were there, bro. Don't
That's
worry
what's
about
up.
it." Cause why? Because they were like, you're not supposed to be traveling while you take this class, and we had a whole weekend in San Diego.
Did you say do you know who I am? Do you know I'm a nationally touring comedian?
Top tier,
Top
top
tier.
rated 5-star athlete /
Nationally touring comedian.
Yeah.
Shout out McAllen this weekend.
Yeah, McAllen, July 6th.
First
2 shows.
First show's almost sold out.
2 shows with the after party. But man, and each one of us, I feel like, had a different experience. So for one, like, shout out to my 10-year-old who we kept super busy. She was like, I'm so proud of her, and I want to keep that momentum going. But she was the girl that was like, Sol, I need to pack my dance clothes because after YMCA camp, I got to run to dance. Or it's like, is today my acting class? No, it's tomorrow, baby. Okay, I got to write my commercial, and then I got to memorize my monologue. And I'm like, okay, that alone made this trip worth it. You know what I'm saying? To see a kid kind of break out of her shell, and you see her get a little bit more independent. You know, thankfully with Marisol's help, you know, helping.
Did she
us
do dance
raise-
all month?
Huh?
Yeah.
She did dance all month.
She was going to
She
dance.
was dance, YMCA,
acting.
and acting all month.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
she had something going on
And
every
so, and so this was also one of the things that I talked to her about is like this is the summer that I want you to be more independent, meaning like you need to learn how to do your own hair. You're about to be 11. I shouldn't still be doing your hair, you know. And so that we didn't get to master, but she did wear her hair down a lot, and it's probably because the weather was great, so she didn't really need to wear it up or really like fix it like you do here. It's like it's so humid and nasty here. It's either you wear a ponytail or you wear your hair down type of thing, you know, or you know you do something with it. But anyway, so that was a lot of it, and then
Even Penny had activities.
Yeah, Penny
She had swim at the YMCA, and she had this little My Gym,
She would go to the gym,
which is hilarious.
Like the indoor playground, or
It's a
kind of.
gym class.
oh, you
It's
do
like-
the one you did with her. You
Yeah,
did-
we
right.
we
Yeah,
both
one of
did.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to do it with the parents.
So
yeah.
it's if you don't have kids or if you're not familiar with this, it's interesting because you know, you show up, it's a bunch of other babies. So that alone, she's just like, oh fuck, these are my people. This is my tribe. We speak the same language. And the parents have to take off their shoes, and you sit in a circle, and it's like a mini Disneyland because they do songs. It's like, and the fish, and the this, and the puppet,
It's
and yay.
toes, knees, something.
So you like stretch the kids.
and they're stretching. That's how they
they're
stretch.
warming
they're
up.
touching their toes, the knees.
And then they'll bring out swings, and now, okay, we're gonna do, you know, some swings, and don't forget we have the trampoline set up over there, and there's like a little, go get with Shelly, she's doing the slide, and where they hold them down a little thing, and everything's child-proof, everything's like carpeted and foam and everything, and then they put the swings away, and they bring out another thing, but that was a cool activity.
And I wanted to keep it going. We were supposed to go this morning, but this sty was just not. I was
Mm.
not going nowhere.
Yeah, I can't see it, but I mean, it's there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
there.
my
So I
baby-
just didn't want to be touching kid germs, and then.
Well, see, Marisol, in her defense, before y'all start thinking my baby got bad hygiene, she has her eyelash person in Houston.
Right.
She has not acquired an eyelash person in LA yet.
Yeah.
Plus,
Is that
she-
what we're attributing it to?
yeah, and she was like super busy soccer mom,
Mm.
like taking me to acting class, you know, you know. Penny's going to swimming, Daddy's going to stand up.
I can. It's like funny if I showed you the. Oh, so maybe we can kind of. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's able. You're able to see it.
What you got? Are those your days?
This is what June looked like in my.
Ridiculous.
Look at
dog.
that. Point it to the camera. Yep.
And everything's not filled in because I
Read
was
it.
using the other one.
So I did 3 shows with Intocable, opening up for Intocable. I had a spot scheduled at the Belly Room at the Comedy Store, which I had to cancel because the Intocable gigs popped up. We went to Disney. We did like
Here it
5
is.
shows in San Diego.
Find an empty spot on this
Holla.
calendar.
Dude, I should go.
Late Monday. That's it.
I should grab my calendar, but it was like, you know, oh, Jerry Garcia has a show in Brea. You know, come through, fool, do a set. Boom, I'm doing Brea. And then I have my show in Ontario. And then we're doing Oxnard. Then we got Hollywood. And it was just insane, man. And one thing Marisol noticed is, like, I hate to say it, even though Texas is home, always will be, and it's the shit.
You're about to piss off some people.
No, but out there, you have acting classes. You have improv classes. Like, I actually felt like an artist. Like, I was doing artist stuff
I felt like
every
he was
day.
an artist out there.
It's
Yeah.
almost like my confidence went up because I felt like, oh, I'm out here rubbing shoulders, rubbing elbows. Like, I'm doing the same I'm at the Laugh Factory, you know, Hollywood Improv, and, you know, just I'm on Be Real Smoke Box. I'm on Dean Del Rey's podcast, Let There Be Talk. Just, you know, running into people and not to sound like a groupie, like, oh, you just out there trying to run into people.
No, that's what
It
you
ain't
do.
that.
It's your
you
world.
know, we're based here, as you guys know. We're based out of Houston. Houston is headquarters. We've always been very independent-minded, and the beautiful thing about being in Houston is that you don't have a lot of these opportunities.
Yeah.
Because it forces you to use the tools you have and to create content.
For sure.
So we kind of want to do a back and forth thing in the year 2020. Not to show all of our moves and all of our cards, but we want to do a back and forth thing so that when I am in Houston, I'm hitting the Houston comedy scene. Like, I'm hitting all the stages.
Mhm.
Like, last night I did 2 spots. They were rough. this shit'll humble you. I'm like, but do you know who I was just hanging out with the other day and what shows I just did?
Yeah.
So anyway, so when we're in Houston, the plan is create content, like independent stuff that you can do on your own, whether it's filming your 45-minute set or putting that out, writing a web series. I already, Javi Luna and myself wrote an episode. It's not done, but we're working on some stuff, right?
Dope.
That we're trying to give y'all more. And here in Houston, you know, it's all about like getting that game plan, getting that vision, getting that plan. And then when we hit attack in the Cali, from the Cali angle, not only are we planting seeds and growing the fan base out there, because it's huge. Like if I'm in Long Beach one day, people from Burbank aren't coming to Long Beach.
Right.
If I'm in the Inland Empire, or if I'm, you know, doing Riverside or Anaheim, Orange County, or if I'm in Oxnard, you know, way up in the 805.
San Diego.
Ain't nobody. They're just
Yeah.
like, bro, I stay in the valley. Or, hey, tell me when you're doing Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's closer to me.
For sure.
Or, you know, hey, are you doing the Ice House? Because that's by me. So it's just tons of people, tons of love. People coming to the shows like, where's Marisol? I'm like, oh, you know, she couldn't come to this one. You know, we didn't bring a sitter. Or Marisol is here, but we got to hurry. I got to run back to the green room because, you know.
Oh, yeah, y'all were
it
tearing
was
up the green room in some of the
crazy.
shows.
Listen,
Like a
so
rock star.
I would so we would stay in the green room with the girls, right? Then it was Pete's time to go on stage. I take notes and I watch his back while he's on there. So it's like, all right, Mickey, you got to watch her just for a couple of minutes. I'll be back and check on her, check on you guys. So it's like, run over there. I take a few notes, and then I come back. Usually I would go check on the girls on areas where I know he kind of like is not working to change anything on that piece.
The strong pieces.
Yeah. So I'll go check on them. They're good. Come back. Keep writing. Now it's his turn to get off. So he'll stay with them while I go sell merch before he goes and does VIP.
So
then
that
it
happened.
was crazy.
That happened at Flappers
Yeah.
in Burbank, and we tore up that. Penny tore up that green room like a little rock star. And then when we did the Intocable gigs, so the first night was Riverside, and I was hired to do a 30-minute stand-up comedy warm-up set before the band goes out. 30 minutes, and I'm like, okay, first of all, should this be English or Spanish? Or Spanglish. I didn't even know how to read my own people. I just assumed y'all look like y'all only speak Spanish. It's just like, bitch, we don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Say it in English. Nah. So that was tricky, right? Some people were probably more English leaning, vice versa. Two, they're looking at me like, why the fuck is this roadie talking to us while we're waiting on the fucking band? And then the way the guy introduced me the first night, he was like, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros.
It was hilarious.
Desde Houston, Texas. Like, these people have been on their feet in heels waiting for like over an hour to see their favorite band. There is no opening act but myself. And they're like, damas y caballeros, desde Houston, Texas. They heard Texas and they're just like, oh shit, it's them. Intocable, they're from Texas.
Yeah.
And they're like, El Comediante. And they're like, what? And then I walk out cold, no music. Like, is this thing on? So long story short, the next day in Anaheim, I was already like, I hope they fire me because you can't pay me to go through that again. Like, I had to tap out. I had to tap out early. I was like, we're at 25 minutes. Let me tell you, my wife gave birth in the house, and this is, hello? Are we done? Like, looking for the sound guy. Like, is that it? Like,
Yeah.
So I went home, and the next day I'm like, all right, I hope they fire me. So anyway, I called some comedian friends of mine. They're like, no, bro, I've done this before. This is what you need to do. Take a whole bunch of T-shirts up there with you. As soon as you go out there, shout out to the military. Shout out to this. Shout out to the. And who wants a shirt? Left side. Who wants a shirt? So now he says you constantly got to have a shirt in your hands to reel them in.
It was crazy.
So I had to do more of a hype man set, and I couldn't be too married to the script.
With the co-host.
So
Who's the co-host?
Marisol had to come do like Sideshow Bob because the plan was, all right, we're gonna do like an air accordion contest, a grito contest, a big belly contest, like a chug a beer contest. Like, we need to bring up maybe some cumbia dancing, and the band, they have all their instruments and mics up there, and at the House of Blues, it's kind of a security issue to get people up on stage, right?
Yeah.
Long story short, they're like, nah, bro, we can't even get approval. It's just last minute. Nah, it's not a good idea. figure something else out. I'm like, I was going to do contests. So we got them to say, hey, man, we're just going to do 20 minutes. Anyway, Sol had to be like my co-host, where I'm like, a ver, vamos a hacer el grito, el concurso del grito, you know, but, you know, aquí Marisol is walking around the front row because there's a barricade. So she's having to be like, okay, you, and I'm like, where are you from? Like doing crowd work. Oh, yeah, what do you do for a living? You know, vendo
I'm all
fajas.
like, Chingo, I don't think they're ready for this. Do it one more time, Chingo. Let them hear it. I'm all like, like,
I wish I could have recorded you guys doing that.
Oh, my God. It was, we were a pretty good
We were like
little
Sonny
team.
and Cher.
Yeah, we really were.
But long story short.
Not to toot our own horns.
Yeah, no,
but
but honestly, it was night and day. It went from like an F.
It was
first
Yoko
night.
Ono and
yeah, exactly.
Fuck yeah, John Lennon. We got like an A- on that second show. Third show, I was trying to recreate the same magic from the second show. And
So what was the first show? What would you give yourself?
the first one was an F.
Oh.
That's when I tried to
Oh.
stick to my script.
Mhm.
Like, this is how I begin. This is how I end. The second night in Anaheim, it went great. Marisol helped me, and it was everyone had a good time. They're screaming for shirts. They're happy. They're cranked up and they're ready and warmed up for the band.
Yeah.
Third night was decent. It was almost as good as the second. They were just probably a little bit rowdier.
Yeah.
And it was a Saturday night,
But-
so
yeah.
obviously they were ready for it to
Puro
turn
pinche
up.
party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But anyway, that was just one slice of. And the crazy thing is, I didn't have the energy or the focus to document everything. That alone was a job. So ideally, you'd have an extra person just like in
Right.
charge of directing and shooting the vlog, reality TV show style.
Tough.
But all
We
in all,
try to do a lot. Here's the thing: is I think most of the time we try to do things on our own, which we're pretty good at, executing things. But before Rob and before David,
Mhm.
we were a two-man
Mhm.
run, you know?
Mhm.
So I think sometimes we forget.
startup.
Yes. I think sometimes we forget that, hey, I'm not sure if you figured it out yet, but you need a little bit more other people to help. Like,
Right.
you can't do it on your own.
Well, especially with all the stuff that we're planning on executing.
Right.
But Cali was great, man.
Well, you started the conversation with
Mhm.
you showed up there, bright-eyed. And
Oh yeah,
bushy-tailed.
and it's okay. Yes, I'm about to tell you how I got beat down.
Yeah.
So the first night of acting class, it was a Monday night. You show up at 6 p.m. We didn't get out till midnight, and I'm walking out of this class like calling Soul, like, fuck,
He's
man.
Would you be mad if I decide
Quit this fucking class?
I'm like, wait, let's talk about this. What's going on?
I'm like,
why are you?
I was
feeling
just
like this?
annoyed that like, why the fuck we getting out at midnight? I was just thinking to myself, I don't want to be an actor that bad. I'm a nationally touring
5-star
stand
athlete.
up. Yeah, stand up 5-star athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But anyway, and here's the thing too. Here's what really overwhelmed me is they're like, all right, pull out your schedules, pull out your planners. We have to plan rehearsals for the week. So who's available for a morning Tuesday? For, let's say 8 a.m. to whatever 9, 10, 11. Or they'd be like, okay, well, I'm gonna do a FaceTime. I have to work. Some of the classmates are like, I have to work at this time. So can anyone do a FaceTime rehearsal at 7 a.m. from 7 to 10? And I'm like, God damn it! And then they're like, what's up with Friday, Saturday, Sunday? And I'm like, I have to leave to San Diego. So I was just already mad at myself, right? Long story short, we pulled it off. I learned a lot. I've been trying to apply everything I learned in the class to stand up. It's already helped me with writing. I love the fucking class. I wouldn't shut up about it. Like telling all my comedian friends, this is what you got to do, dog. You sign up for this shit. But yeah, it's stuff like that where you slowly start to be like, Jesus Christ, I've been waking up super early every day, busy, nonstop, like not seeing my wife, not seeing the kids that much because it's like, hello, bye. Okay, you're going to YMCA. I got to go. They invited me to the Comedy Store to hang out or something. Or I got to drive cross town for a podcast or whatever it may be.
Or an interview, radio interview.
Radio interviews galore. Not complaining.
So we're not complaining about the abundance of
Opportunities. Of course.
But it was just hard. I think that maybe if I would have had a babysitter, it might have been easier because I was trying to keep everybody busy at the same time, trying to make sure the tour still runs smoothly. And it was just kind of difficult, especially since I had Mickey in so many activities, you know.
But it was
And then he still had to. We were in one car, so we had to figure out a really good schedule also for that because it was like what time do you need the car? From what time to what
I'll
time?
Uber to the Hollywood Improv. I'll Uber to my show.
Yeah, so it was like figuring out certain things because if Mickey was getting out too late from one class, he wouldn't make it to a show. Whatever it was also a time of we learned a lot during this month, which was great. I think everybody did. I think
it was
we
like
all
growth, experience.
everyone, you know.
And then I would have the habit of getting in my head when I have like a show coming up. Now I just feel like I did it so much to where I didn't have time to worry or get in my head about a show later this evening. It was just part of my to-do list. It's like, oh shit, okay, I need to switch gears now. I'm gonna go ahead and shower, change.
Yeah, when Chingo would call periodically throughout the month about, we had something going on, you could just sense, and I mentioned to both of y'all when I was talking to y'all, the excitement and like how much momentum you felt like you were having and all
now
the
you
energy.
just hear tiredness. It's like, bro, did you wash your face this morning?
Crash, man, jet lag.
Well, go ahead, I'm listening.
No, well, just that so listeners know, like you just being in that environment, going back to what you're saying, like H-Town's great, it's home, it's headquarters, but being on the West Coast is a whole nother energy.
Yeah, so for sure, we're going to be in Houston for like Chingo de Mayo. We're going to be in Houston for holidays. And it felt great to be home. It felt great to like, I was just tired of being like in the air, out of a suitcase, in between places. And I just wanted to like, okay, is this where I'm going to be for a while? Like, can I settle in?
What happened is that, so I only had the Airbnb until the original date that we were supposed to come home, but because he got another gig added to the end of the tour where an opportunity came about at a casino,
right,
we had to change flights and hotel, Airbnb, because one more day wasn't available. Isn't that crazy? They already had it booked for the next person.
Shit.
So we ended up having to move to a hotel that Friday, and then we stayed there Friday, Saturday, flew out Sunday. So that made it hard because that meant we had to pack a month's worth of stuff.
Twice.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And we had to ship stuff, by the way, to FedEx, from FedEx.
Bro, okay. This part was one of the most overwhelming parts, was like 2 adults traveling with, in essence, 2 babies, and not a lot of stuff when you think of it's 4 people, one of them being a baby that needs her like stroller and big items. But even though we took like the bare minimum, like I was recycling outfits, you know what I mean? We're doing laundry all the time.
I think this was the month that Chingo wore
I just
the
took like
same
my top shoes. Like these are my favorite sneakers that kind of
Yeah.
go with everything. This is like my casual gym.
I felt so bad
Para
for
andar,
him.
your play shoes, los tenis.
Yeah.
But anyway, them are like my fancier stuff, whatever. But when you're fucking loading up we had a Nissan Pathfinder, which is a pretty big truck, but it was to the gills, to where it's like, where's Mickey going to sit? Because we have Penny's Bob stroller, like the jogger that she prefers, that it faces out, and then you can like really go on sidewalks with it better.
And that's what I would walk every morning with.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she doesn't get in it.
Otherwise,
She's
it's
like,
a
"That's not my
little
whip."
stroller. She hates getting in it. She hates being in it.
in the Duna, the one that goes into a
Where
car
it's
seat.
like a baby stroller.
Yeah.
She faces the parent.
So
but-
she hates it.
So my point is, it was a ton of shit.
How was it flying with that?
Jesus, like we had to mail stuff. We had to like go to FedEx, and it's like I don't know how we have
So
more stuff.
we mailed home
like
the
laundry and sneakers.
Well, we sent back one of Penny's mini. It was one of the little ones, the suitcases. That's where I put all her toys and like Pampers and wipes and stuff like that. So that one is going to get shipped to Houston, and then the merch suitcase had to be shipped to Houston.
My thought process was this: okay, this little bit of clothes that I brought, like this is all nice stuff. Like it's like mostly like black joggers, like you know what I mean, my little Lulu. But anyway, I was like a thug, Lulu head to toe, baby, ready to do some yoga on your bitch ass. One of my ideas was, hey, what if I like throw some of this stuff that I'm gonna need in LA eventually? What if I put it in a box and say like, hey Jerry, can you keep it in your garage or something, or like find a way to store it so that it's like I'm gonna be back in 6 months anyway. This could be my LA clothes, which means that's less shit I gotta bring, and I'm hauling back and forth. So in essence, I would try to keep stuff to an even more bare minimum. Like even though we took what we thought was the minimum, still like we were having to tip everybody because it's like, yes, we need a bellboy. Yes, we need somebody to help us haul the stuff. Yes, I need help from the rent-a-car shuttle. It's like a lot of they were heavy as fuck too. Like everything's full hasta el tronco. Like it wasn't like, this was fairly light.
It's the thing is this, like seriously, for a month, we did amazing. He had one suitcase. Mickey had one suitcase. I had one suitcase. Penny had two suitcases, but
the fucking
The little
the rock star, the
yeah,
diva.
she had two suitcases. But the like I said, the other one was like things that I needed for her to be entertained,
Right.
and that's where I kept formula, diapers. You know, you had to have one
a
of
few
those,
little toys,
a few
but,
toys
yeah.
or whatever. And so,
So I was already like, babe, schedule my vasectomy when we get home.
yeah.
Doesn't that also make you want to just live with less stuff?
Yes.
Well, yeah, and
Yes.
that's the thing. We listen. What we took is what
you
need.
need. Yeah.
That was it.
I mean,
That-
there were a few things that were inconvenient, like, oh, this Airbnb doesn't have a blender, and we need to make like some baby food, so we had to go buy the
So I
baby
ended up,
bullet.
I bought a baby
That's an
bullet,
essential,
Which
though.
you're gonna need.
I'll
Yeah.
need it.
That's a kitchen
I mean,
bullet.
right now we use his bullet or whatever, and I told him, I said, we can always use that blender. It'll be
Yeah.
needed forever. So I said, let's.
It's
I'll
just a
invest.
blender, right?
Yeah, it's just a blender. You make
It's
a
a baby's-
salsa in there, whatever.
Yeah, I make it's for babies.
You know what I'm talking about? That's how you make
Penny
that
just-
shit.
Like the time she got into the fridge, I need to write that down. We use the same blender for everybody. She just like, don't wash it too good after you make salsa, because she likes a little bit of kick.
Yeah, for real.
Yes.
But no, but to your point, man, when we arrived, first of all, that building was nice. as
Oh yeah,
fuck.
what floor are you on?
The building was
Second.
nice.
Oh okay.
I was like, bro, this is
This
super.
boy's talking about, can we lease our house
And live in a
and
fucking
we can
building.
I said, wait,
It
no.
was so low maintenance. Like nobody was like, "Hey man, I just cut your grass. Pay me." Or, "Hey man, what's up with these vines that are regrowing? What's up with these weeds? Hey man, your flowers need watering."
Okay, but seriously, that's okay. Check this out. The same night that we landed, he had to go with Andrew Schultz.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we landed in Houston.
Here.
Yeah,
landed
when
here
we
in
landed
Houston.
That was dope.
Yeah,
I
so-
slept on that. I totally forgot.
Yeah, so he had that up, that he,
Shout out to Andrew Schultz.
Yeah.
Check out the Brilliant Idiots.
for real. And so it was weird because
Views from the sis.
I put Penny to sleep. Mickey was asleep, and I literally looked at our backyard, and it's like a little movie set. It's like so perfect, And I thought, oh, I don't know that I want to leave this. Like buildings, you don't even get this in a building.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I guess I lived in apartments like for so long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before I bought my first little rental house. And it's honestly, it's not fun when you buy your first little house because you're kind of in it by yourself, and so it's kind of,
Yeah.
And so then it becomes a rental for someone else. Let someone else enjoy it. But now it's like, oh, my little family lives in it. I look in the backyard and I think of the little memories. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, the main thing about a house is space, right?
sure.
So, for instance, in that condo we were in, is that what you would call it? Like an apartment?
yeah, I think it
It's
is
like
condo.
a little. It wasn't, because we looked at some you could tell are like, oh, this
Apartment.
is a condo.
Yeah.
Some it's like, oh no, these are apartments.
Mhm.
Like a townhouse kind of thing.
It
No?
was just like a really nice building. It was like, nice. But anyway, a lot of amenities. Their lobby was nice. They had a rec room, a game room, a
Makes you
rooftop.
look at the other side of like being into real estate, where you're like, wait a minute, I don't have to fuck with all this, if I don't
Yeah.
have a yard and this and that and the maintenance and the overhead.
But the biggest difference is when we get home, Penny was like, when she got familiar with her walker, she was like, oh, there's a little bit more space on this wood
It
floor.
was like,
Yeah.
it was her, like, seriously.
Area to play.
Anything, you can tell she missed
Over
her
there,
area.
Over there, it's like sharp corners, they didn't take a baby into consideration. So I literally had to go plug up.
I brought plugs, like the little
Like
things for
I had
the-
to,
thing?
I had to
Yeah.
slap the Windex out of her hand one time. You know what I'm saying? Because they be getting up under the seat.
Yeah, and so
Oh, yeah.
then
Sharp corners everywhere.
and then she hit herself so much when we were out there. She's never
Like
hit
on the- like,
herself
on
that
coffee
much on here on
tables or
coffee
like-
table. It was just it's modern,
And
it's
chipotle.
nicely decorated and everything. It's like got the vases and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Prior to Penny, my house was very cute like that. There's some stuff
Buku vases.
like we had some. It was nice.
oh,
So
my
now-
baby was into antiques.
Buku faces.
If anybody is into antiques, Marisol still has a storage full.
We need
No,
to go
I
to
don't. I
Antiques
got rid of
Roadshow.
all of them.
Yeah, she just gave away.
I got rid of all of them. Like stuff that I searched for and actually found a
Yeah.
vendor.
Because
And
it was like,
went
it's
and-
me or the antiques.
Oh my god!
It
Take
was
it to Antiques Roadshow. You might have
She
some
like, you
valuable
taking the
shit.
D with you? I said, then the D coming with me. She's like, bye, antiques.
I got rid of a bunch of them, so I don't have anything anymore. But even just the simple decorations that I had, like these little lanterns by the chimney,
Yeah.
right? And it's just to give it a look.
Sure.
Those had to be taken out too because
People kept pointing out Marisol's accent in L.A.
oh my
Really?
Yeah, because she'd be
yes.
like, which way is Wilshire? And they're like, Wilshire at Wilshire. It's like, do I turn left on Lancashire?
I said we're on
They're like, Lancashire?
So I went to
Lancashire, that's what I said.
We went. I went with him to one of his little group meetings, right? And it was funny because his actor friends were like, "Oh my God, we love your accent!"
Right
I was
away.
like, the
Right
first,
away. Like,
the first
oh,
thing they
nice.
said.
This is your wife. Nice to meet you. We've heard so much about you. She's like, hey, I just turned down Lancashire. They're like, oh my God, we love your accent.
That's the first. They couldn't get over my accent. I was like, I do not hear it, but I guess everyone in LA. Jerry always gives me a hard time about it. He's always like, you have such a thick Texas.
He's like,
accent.
damn dog,
Damn fool.
Yeah.
Damn
He's
fool.
always telling me that I have it, but
No,
his
yeah, you got
friends,
accent,
he's like,
dog.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have a
Yeah, it's a
very
fucking
thick
thick-ass
Texas
accent,
accent. Yeah,
His
'Cause I said,
accent's hilarious.
Yeah.
because I said, I think I was saying, yeah, you know, we're right there off of Lancashire, and then she
They
looks
say
at
Lancashire.
me, and then she looks at me, she goes, "Oh my God,
I just love your accent."
I was like, well, I don't know how you say that. Looks like Lancashire to me. Well,
What, don't they say Houston different on the East Coast?
New York. New
Yeah,
York. Well,
Houston.
there's a
Houston.
street.
Get
They
the
don't.
fuck outta here.
They don't call the city Houston. They have a street out there which is spelled Houston.
But
yeah,
These
that's right.
motherfuckers call it Houston.
Right. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
But yeah, fuck out of here with all
Come
that.
on.
Yeah.
Disrespect my shit.
But it's funny though. But everyone out there heard it. Even at the coffee shop at Coffee Bean when I'd go every
Your new
morning.
friends? Your best
Yeah,
friends?
my new friends. The girl would be like, first thing she said is like, "Oh, where are you guys visiting from?" I was like,
How do you know
we're
we're not
visiting?
from here?
Yeah.
Because you just said Lancashire.
She said, "Oh, I can hear your accent," and I was like,
My Spanish accent?
Yeah.
No.
"Yeah." It's like, no, it's totally. Where are you from? I said, I'm from Houston. Oh yeah, we can hear it. I was like,
You could have said anything. Wisconsin, Montana. They'd
Right?
be like, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He's like, I hear your accent. I just think barbecue.
Yeah.
You know, I just smell horses all of a sudden.
Smell shit.
There's hay.
Yeah, cow shit.
yeah.
Which, it's on subject, off subject. Andrew Schultz was very impressed with Houston. He's like,
yeah.
man, because he got so much love, sold out 2 shows on a Sunday.
yeah.
Last minute, 2 shows on a Sunday. Whereas where he was here previously, like a year ago, it was like a 200-seater, half full.
What was he talking about? With the
Secret
room?
group.
Oh, that's what I
Secret
thought,
group.
yeah.
But anyway, the point is, he was just like, yo, people be sleeping on Texas. And he's like, man, there's a lot of fucking love out here. I was like, we're about to be third largest.
Texas is the
Best of the nifty United States from 13 American.
colonies.
Oh,
Tell you.
it wasn't until that part that I remember you
Yeah.
talking about. But yeah, everyone always says that. Austin,
Say,
Houston.
Texas.
Oh, here we go. Remix. Where's Penny? Penny to start dancing.
I am very. It was funny, and then his friend, the girls that he was
The
practicing.
schoolmate,
the
yeah, the
school, yeah.
classmate.
She sees my Texas necklace, and she's like, "Oh, you're very proud to be from." I said, "Very proud, very."
Well, so let me put this to you. I'm glad I had a
Shout out to my
conversation-
Astros hat, but
yeah.
go on.
Yeah, you're wearing the same one as me. But not weird, whatever. When somebody asks you, when you're traveling, you're out of town, whether you're out of the state or out of the country, and someone asks you, where are you from, what do you say?
Texas?
When we're out of,
Yeah.
no,
Houston,
if you're in
Texas?
Italy, you'd be like America.
Would you?
Yeah, U.S.
You ask that to most people, and if they're from Texas, they will say Texas. And you start thinking that no other state has that type of affection and affinity for their state like Texans do.
Well, I think it has I don't know, somebody could correct me on this, but do other states have, the way we had Texas history,
Right. Totally.
I don't know if other states have that.
And you'd actually have to say in the morning, honor the Texas flag.
Right.
Yeah, these motherfuckers.
We've
boy.
honored the
Yeah.
Texas flag in the morning.
And we used to
growing
be, what is it? We were like our own,
we were on
little
our own
thing.
for a while,
own
and
republic.
then
our own republic, which means kind of like our own little country.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's why everyone's
bitch.
like, we're going to secede, be back to one republic.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably not that bad of an idea.
I'm okay with
That's
that.
actually not a bad
Do
idea.
you know that Texas was one of the states that didn't fall into the bankruptcy during that whole
Yeah,
time?
yeah, yeah.
So people were depending on
Jay Prince
our,
for president.
like I'm just saying.
You know what? That's
That's
probably,
gonna be my last tattoo.
What?
Is a Texas. I've been
Oh,
wanting
yeah?
to go, and I have
yeah,
just
we should.
not
We
had-
should. Fuck it. Let's go get some. We have a sitter. Again.
Right
Yeah.
before y'all leave.
Tattoos
I'm
in the
just kidding.
daytime, like parents.
Yeah.
Reynolds.
Tattoos a nighttime thing, if you ask me. What the fuck was I gonna say, man?
Unless we
About
got
that
kids.
Texas being
Oh,
its
yeah.
own thing. That's probably not a bad idea because that might be a way to keep the good stuff that we have in terms of being American, but avoid some of the bullshit that comes with being American.
Yeah.
So it's like you'd have a different president,
Yeah.
number one, off top. And you'd already have the experience of being a part of America to where it's like, we like freedom of speech. Let's kind of keep that going. Like, let's kind of just, what do we want to change from the Constitution, so on and so forth.
Well, it's funny. It was either Rogan and Joey Diaz or Rogan and Abby Martin. They were ripping into Beto for Beto not really being his name. His name's like Robert something, but his dad said we changed his name so that he would get the Spanish vote.
No, it's It's Beto because kids in school would call him.
Well, that's one narrative, right?
That's,
Yeah.
yeah. Apparently, his dad legit like either was caught like saying the truth or like whatever. However, it was.
But he
spun.
got it. He got it from kids in El Paso calling. Because Roberts go by Beto.
That's what his dad said. But
Yeah.
but yeah. I see
Oh,
what
it's
you're
not
saying.
what it's.
Yeah.
Okay.
His dad says like no.
What do they call you at home? Do they call you Rob
They
or
say Rob, yeah.
Oh, they don't call you Beto or
No.
anything.
Robe.
Yes.
Robe for sure.
Yeah.
The real Mexicans say Robe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Robestown.
Uh-huh.
Man, okay. Well, you know what? I've been staying out of the loop with a lot of
Politics?
politics
For
stuff,
real.
but sometimes it'll be up on TV, like especially at airports and shit like that. And did you see Joe Biden's face when Harris called him out on some like, you voted this way back in the day under such and such in the Senate because he was up under this like old school Southern guy and it had to do with segregation, and Biden's face was just like. He went into like this trained, like, okay, look apologetic, think apologetic thoughts. Like, while Harris is like, Mr. Biden, do you recall? Why did you vote this way?
And then Trump tweeted something racist about Kamala Harris or Kamal, how you pronounce her name. I'm not sure.
Man, I don't know. All these motherfuckers to me be full of shit.
I stay out of it. I
know.
I
I'm with y'all.
voted this past election, but it was
comical.
just like
So much of this stuff is comical. Like I was reading the USA Today, and it was saying that people are critiquing Trump for having his daughter and his son-in-law with him at these like big international meetings where those two folks are taking the place of like some national security council people that could possibly be advising him, you know what I'm saying, in a certain way. And supposedly he'd say stuff like, has anyone ever heard of Ivanka? Well, she's here. And he'd be like, she's going to steal the show. Say stuff like that.
Dude, he says weird stuff about his kids.
Yeah, especially his daughter.
Daughter's like about big tits.
why does he
and-
rub his daughter weird? That's
Yeah,
what
he
I
like
wanna
holds
know.
her weird
Yeah.
and stuff. But
He's
don't y'all talk about my president like
Creepy.
that. Dear Feds,
Yeah.
dear
Hey,
CIA,
man,
if you're listening right now,
We
love
support
our
you.
president.
I even heard that the Samsung TVs came with like a virus, like a little thing in the software, where, long story short, supposedly, I forget the name of the CIA operative thing that they were doing, where Operation Weeping Angel, or something like that.
yeah, I know.
Where it was like where basically
Yes.
the TVs were able to listen in.
at all times.
And there's some crazy shit I also saw in the paper about that facial recognition technology
Mhm.
that all Facebook, Google, everybody and their mom.
Yeah.
I don't know who owns it, who's licensing it to these apps, but supposedly Detroit already allowed the police to use like facial recognition that now links up with their body cams, and they don't work as well with people with dark skin color due to like the light and how the software is designed, which can lead to further mistakes of misidentity of like, oh, you look like a suspect. My body cam told me that you fit the description. It's like, yeah, but the software isn't all that. So there's a lot of danger with these facial recognition because there's cameras everywhere.
Wow.
All they got to do is load them up with a thing, and now they can literally tell you like everywhere you were, everywhere you've been, blah blah blah. blah.
Damn, that's fucking
But,
crazy. Well, that's why Apple's better, because Apple actually works against having that happen, like recording when you don't know about it, having people tap
Word.
your shit. So
Really?
that's why like their
What do you mean
maps-
tap your shit? How they do that?
just like having like your phone listen, supposedly listen when you're talking. Like if you're talking right now about something, Apple's actively trying to make it to where your phone's not like spying on you, basically. Whereas Androids are the opposite.
And here's another thing: is you you know, I think they said it on The View as well, but I read it in the paper. But basically, here's another thing. You ever be having a conversation about a product or a service or a thing, and then all of a sudden it's on your fucking Instagram feed? Like, how did y'all know? It was a specific example about something that I read, but a representative of Facebook was like, we're not really listening in, although I kind of know what you mean as to now ads are popping up everywhere. So it's more of they're able to kind of predict. They're more like stalking you.
Yeah.
They're stalking you and they're able to predict, supposedly.
Dude, that must be what it is, because I was telling Don, this happened twice last week. I didn't look this thing up. I didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
I didn't speak it into existence. I only thought about it. And I started getting the ads for said thing. I freaked the fuck out. I was like, this is insane.
So I'm not going to tell you what I'm not going to say it over the
Sure.
You're just going to think it.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that I came up with an idea, a toy for a child, for a baby.
Yeah. She was, yeah.
So I'll tell you about it after.
She has a prototype.
I have a prototype.
Awesome.
So I came up
with
an idea.
My baby has a lot of ideas.
I know.
They involve.
Did you see? Did he tell you about my app? Right?
Oh,
Isn't that a great idea? Don't say it yet.
Yeah.
But
no.
Isn't that a great idea?
Because it might exist. So we don't know.
We don't know. So we're doing the research first, and if it doesn't exist, I think we have something.
That's hilarious.
So,
That's awesome.
So anyway, I got this idea about this kid toy, right?
More like a baby toy.
A baby toy. He and I were talking about it, and then I go.
A similar thing.
On my iPhone.
Because hers would be like an improvement upon a thing.
Yeah.
And that was like, mine would be more travel friendly, more like in your diaper bag.
Just
type
more
thing.
thought out in detail.
Yeah.
Just different.
Straight up would be on Shark Tank kind of thing.
Yeah.
Totally. And then I was like.
Actually, yeah. That's some Shark Tank shit, boo boo. We're going on Shark Tank.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. What am I going to wear to Shark Tank when I go?
Latino as fuck.
Yeah.
Barbara's going to be like, what's Latino AF? Like the lady on the airplane.
Yeah,
and then I whispered in her ear.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, oh.
Latino as fuck.
Like in my day in the 50s, where that's what you did when we were freaks. What?
That's funny. They taught us this in acting class. Like, depending on what word you emphasize, Latino as fuck. Latino as fuck.
Right.
It changes it.
It does. Especially when you're old and you can't hear.
So this is the exercise they did in class. It was like, I didn't say, I'm paraphrasing because it's in my notes, but it's like, the phrase was, I didn't say that your idea was stupid. And then it'd be like, emphasize each word every time. And it was like, I didn't say that your idea was stupid. I didn't say that your idea was stupid. I didn't say that your idea was stupid. I didn't
what
say
did he say?
That. You see how it changes it everywhere? Yeah. Anyway.
But anyway, that is freaky because, like I said, we were just talking about it. It was only him who had communicated this idea to.
Yeah, but your phone be listening.
And then I go to my phone and I'm on Instagram and I said,
there's my idea. They heard it and they made it.
My idea. It's a different version of it.
Not as good, basically.
Not as good.
It's not as good.
I like how Chingo was telling that story. It fell flat and he was just like, never mind.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Too much coffee.
Someone else say
Too much
something.
THC. Oh, my THC tolerance.
Yeah.
Like, I started thinking, like, man, these little cartridges, this must be CBD because I don't feel shit.
Oh, shit. 1 month and already he's like,
you know what I'm saying? Because, bro.
The coffee's not good enough. The
Rob,
weed ain't good enough.
Rob, do you understand how much weed I had to give away? So there's a maintenance guy.
Sounds like Joey Diaz.
So we were at the Airbnb, but the last day or two we had to switch to a hotel near LAX. At the hotel near LAX, it was time to pack up and get ready for the airport. And this is all legal in California, so don't fucking
come
dear
after
feds. But my buddy Be Real, he's my buddy now because I was on his show, Smokebox, dropping soon. He gave me, he has his own dispensary. He has his own strain.
Yeah, he opened up a Sacramento location the other day.
Yeah, he's opened up several, but he gave me like an ounce. I didn't even know an ounce was this much. I'm like, damn, this an ounce?
It's like a baby pillow.
It was just like a whole bunch of some shit he has called Insane OG. And then there's dispensaries everywhere. So from time to time, I'd be like, okay, I want me an indica pre-roll. I might want a couple CBD gummies, a cartridge, like just little things. Long story short, man, I couldn't. Like every interview, like, oh, here you go, my brother. A little jar or something, a little baggie or something. And before you know it, I have a bag full of shit. I got a plastic bag full of stuff. And I'm walking around the lobby of the hotel like, okay, who looks like they smoke weed?
But
funny. I didn't want to have like a borderline racist, like, hey, man, you have dreads.
Dude, that's a good show. just having
Who-
like
hey,
shit
here's
that
a bag of
yeah,
weed.
if it looks like you can do it in states obviously where it's not legal and it
Like
just
a
looks
hidden
like weed.
camera?
Yeah.
And have like do it to an old lady,
Yeah.
or see what they say,
Uh-huh.
or like or maybe even plant some actors where like a dude's like, yo motherfucker, I look like I smoke weed to you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was a maintenance. I walked around for a while. I was like, oh, I don't know, who do I give it to? And then I didn't want to get snitched on. Like if they're just like, whoa, hey man, no,
Yeah.
I'm an undercover cop, bro.
Beat it, nerd.
Yeah. So there was a maintenance dude in the hallway, and I was like, hey man, I went to the dispensary, but I'm not gonna finish, some stuff. And he was like, yeah, I'll take it. And then he went back into the hotel room where they were like working, fixing the AC or something. And he just hit like, oh, woo, hey, goddamn. You just started hitting, woo.
That's funny.
For real.
Like, damn, this dude's giving away this much weed. Like, Jesus.
Holla.
And if you open the drawer, it was insane.
It's like,
The
is there a
smell-
skunk in Daddy's
You would
room?
literally open his sock drawer,
That's
and
funny.
it was the entire room just went.
Like Pepe Le Pew
crazy.
in that bitch.
Was that your favorite show that you did?
Pepe Le Pew?
No, man.
That should be my strain, right? Chingo Le Pew.
Chingo Le Pew.
Man! OG.
No,
Kush.
it's got to be like Chingo.
OG Chingo Le Pew. That should have been my name out
I
there.
don't know. Some kind of Speedy Gonzalez is what I think.
Yeah, arriba, yepa, yepa.
There you go.
What was
What
my
was your
favorite show?
What was the favorite thing that you did? What was your favorite, like, because you did a bunch of interview, you were on Big Boy Show, Be Real, obviously, Dean, like stuff like that. What was your favorite kind of? I know they were all great, but if you had to say, what was the most enjoyable?
Well, the B-roll one was intense because I couldn't tell if I was in there for 8 minutes or like an hour.
He called me right after that one, which was hilarious.
And I was like walking.
yeah, you were walking, and you were just like,
I need to
going.
walk it off, man.
You're walking it off, and also you're like, hey, when I answer the phone, he goes,
Hey, man.
do you
you
have like
alone?
a minute? Do you have 2 minutes? Maybe 5 minutes? Not too much of your time, but maybe like 5-10 minutes tops. And I was like, yeah, totally.
Dude, go.
Yeah, just talk. And
What's up?
25 minutes later, it was just like, yeah, man, it's fucking great. But anyway.
Yeah. Basically, they roll up the windows and you're in a car and they're asking you questions and it's a lot of weed happening.
How much time total are you in there?
I think my buddy E-Zone, who works for B-Real, I think he said it was about 24 minutes or something, which I was
that's a
proud of myself.
long
They're
ass
like, dude, you
time.
hung in there. They're like, I could kind of tell. He's like, when you started doing this little like twitching thing, he's like, I could tell your anxiety was starting to like kick in or something. But
I was so worried for him because he's not. I mean, yes, he smokes, but he doesn't smoke like that.
Yeah.
But
And
it's like
my
I do, but
my
I still
palms
get
were
anxiety.
sweaty, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god, what's gonna happen? He doesn't smoke that
Is
much.
he gonna say something
Is
dumb?
he gonna say like? Is he gonna get nervous? Is he gonna start doing
He's gonna go
yoga in
blank.
the car? Because like
Down dog
that's
in the
his
car.
yeah, because that's usually what he does.
Is
He
it going to
starts
turn into a
stretch.
therapy session?
It's
Yeah.
hilarious. I was like, "So did you do yoga?" He's
Did you
like,
tap
"No,
out?"
I didn't."
No, but the crazy thing is, like, when it was like, all right, man, thanks for being on. This has been another episode of, and I'm just like, hurry up and finish because I need oxygen. Like, it's just thick smoke only.
Nice.
And it got to the point where, like, I hit it a few times just to get it going. And I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Like, I was just a little over, what's the word? Over ambitious with
Yeah.
getting it going. And then it's like, okay, I better chill from it for a little while. And then it turned off. And he's like, hey, man, you kind of got to keep them going type of thing. And I'm like, can I borrow your lighter, Dr. Green Thumb? Mr. B-Real. And I get it going again. And then after a while, I was like, okay, you know what? You have nothing to prove, man. Like, stop smoking. Like, just, there's enough smoke in the air. and then when we were like done, I'm already like I'm already opening doors. They're like, whoa, we still got to get a couple more pickup shots. And I'm like, why didn't y'all do this prior? So they had to get like a side shot on a dolly where they're like, all right, everyone take a hit. We're just gonna get that little like promo shot. And I'm like, hit. And B-Reals was done. He's like, dude, I can't. It's gone. Mine's gone.
You're like, here you go.
Yeah, and then they had me doing some drops and like some photo op and like hold up the Insane OG. We can need a couple pictures. I was just like, bro, I need to get out of here.
When he called me,
I still
said,
had rehearsal. I was
"So?"
like, I have rehearsals after this.
I said, "So?" He goes, "I made it."
Is that what I said?
I made it.
It was like a roller coaster ride,
Yeah.
man.
He's
like,
like,
I rode
made
the
it. I said,
ride.
"You made it, huh?" I said, "So you're okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm all right." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
We just kind of talked about it, but it was funny.
Yeah.
A lot of good experiences in
Yeah,
out
that's
there.
cool.
We did a lot of cool stuff. It's a whole different vibe out
Yeah.
there for sure. I think most of the people that are out there for a purpose.
For sure.
I think because it's a place where a lot of this you know,
Yeah, you gotta
acting
hustle
and,
out there.
you know, performing and all that lends itself. So I think a lot of the people that are out there really trying to
Yeah, you
make
gotta stay
whatever
hustling.
dream that they have a reality, you know? So, yeah, it's pretty interesting because we even saw the way the kid acting works, you know,
Yeah.
like because we got to see that through Mickey's classes
Yeah.
that she takes and the orientation they give parents about, you know, like if your child is really serious about this, here's the way you need to go about it. Like,
You know,
these are
there's the
type
business side
there's
on
the
top of the
business
craft.
side. Yeah,
Right, right.
exactly. So it was pretty interesting, you know. Shout out to Gary Spat's Playground. If any parents are out there considering putting,
Yeah, I was impressed. I was,
their school is just the way it works.
Pretty legit.
It's pretty legit. They really focus on the child's talent and like they're not trying to take your money. They're more like, this is what I offer. This is what I train your child on.
and it's a great activity too. Like they said, like they should have more confidence after this. You should notice, like they're able to just talk to people easier. Just
and enunciate and just like these activities that they gave Mickey to do, like write a monologue, write a commercial.
It's great.
It was really
All that
good.
shit
I
is
was
good.
very impressed
Reading,
with the school.
memorizing,
Yeah, I was very
performing.
impressed with the school. They even have a kids pro class, which means these kids are already kind of probably have little gigs here and
Wow,
there.
that's cool.
It was really cool. I was really honestly.
We met a couple kids at Mickey's dance class, where it was this lady from St. Louis, right,
Mm-hmm.
and her cousin from St. Louis, and then their kids. So they started telling us like, yeah, our baby did a Marshall's commercial, a couple McDonald's commercials. This commercial went really national. This one ran all the time. The residuals were great on that one. And I was already like, okay, we know which baby's paying the rent.
Yeah.
But she had all her kids in dance class and all her kids auditioning, and they all
And
had
she
like
has
managers.
been able to. No, she had been managing them from St. Louis. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The cousins moved to LA for more opportunity because I guess there wasn't enough, obviously, in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So when they got here, the mom decided that she wanted to do an agent and a manager, right? So she has both.
I think so, yeah.
So she did that. The cousin now, who also has her kids in acting and so forth, came down as well because of the same reason. They kind of ran out of like, okay, they've pretty much tapped out of everything they could do. It's time
In
for
that
us to
market.
move in that market. So there's time for us to move. So they moved also. So she had been managing them forever. And so she was like, I don't know if I should get an agent or not. We were kind of talking about it. And I said, you know,
I was like, well, she's my momager.
I said, if you've been managing them, continue to manage them. But definitely, like, I couldn't do an agent's job. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they already have the connects and,
Right.
you know, they know, you know, this director or that producer, et cetera. And, you know, so they would probably, I said, but you know, I feel like as a parent, you know more than anyone what your child needs and can't and can't take on. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would probably do it more for, I guess, like what benefits them versus like, shit, I need to make some money off this child. So let me see what gig I can get them because I need my 20%
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah,
10%,
they-
whatever
you
it is.
don't
You know
wanna,
what I'm saying?
like-
Like, I'm not just going to go, like, for example, even with Chingo, I'm not just going to go say, hey, you're going to go do this gig because we need this money. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it works. You know, you know, Chingo's able to be picky about what he can and can't, what he does and doesn't take, you know?
For
So that's
sure.
the beauty of it. But I think sometimes some parents just feel like they want a job for their child, you know, when they're in that career or
Well, yeah, that you
that
got to. You
industry,
don't want to like put your
you
kid
don't
to
want to
work.
do them to that. I think
Yeah.
you need to let them enjoy it and do whatever they feel like doing.
Yeah,
You
with
know,
Mickey, she was curious about it, and I know it's good for her imagination. It could be good for her confidence. I wanted her to have that experience, but by no means, I told her, I was like, by no means, do you think you're just gonna be like a working child? You know, like, like that's a very
because she was
very
interested.
slim-
She was like, "What if I wanted to do this?" And I said, "Oh no, you'd have to be very serious about it before
Yeah.
we even considered like."
like be a kid.
Mickey likes that stuff, but she doesn't show like 100% interest to where she could feel like where I'm like trying to tell Pete like, hey, you should probably really consider, you know, this, like what else can, you know, let's
Yeah.
find what she can do. I think this opened that idea for her. Her taking these classes, she realized like, oh, I've been sleeping on a lot of stuff. Like,
Well,
I
yeah,
really
I
should-
mean,
yeah.
overall, it just opened up our eyes to like, oh, okay, yeah, there's a different pace. There's different, like here, the reason I hit 2 spots last night, and then Schultz let me do 5 minutes on his show Sunday. Is because I want to keep that same momentum and focus that I had going out there. Whereas before, I'd make excuses here at home, like, well, I was doing admin all day, I'm tired, or it's kind of far, I don't feel like, I heard it's kind of dead, versus like, fuck it, it is what it is, compared to LA, that shit ain't far.
Yeah.
Like 15 minutes to the Improv here in Houston, like, come on, man, it's just 15 minutes.
I mean, the traffic in LA, you couldn't pay me. My God. How does anyone sit through that? It's in, in Houston, we have traffic. In Houston, we have traffic, right? Yeah. And you maybe need.
How could anyone
ever?
Yeah. You plan for an hour, right? At least, right? Here, it's like 2 or 3 hours in advance. Like, you need to be somewhere at 6, you got to leave at 2.
It just depends, So, like, I was having to do far off shit. Like, hey, don't forget you have Irvine tomorrow, and we're staying in North Hollywood. Or you got to do Anaheim, or Riverside, or Oxnard. So on the way home after the gig, it might be like 45 minutes or an hour. Like, I'm going cross town. But on the way there, it's like, hey, man, it's 4 o'clock. You got to leave now.
For a 9 o'clock show?
I mean, the show might have been like, you want to be there at 7. It starts at 8. Yeah, man, you might want to like 4:30.
You would leave at 4.
And allow time for, like, God forbid, a flat tire, a wreck.
Right.
Something happened and they shut down a lane.
It's crazy. But here, even with a shutdown lane, if you leave an hour before.
Shut down lane. Go ahead, boo-boo.
You're fine,
Yo, they shut down a lane.
Wilshire.
59 and 610, like where the gallery is.
Yeah.
They shut one of the lanes down. So now it's like, I think, like just 2 and kind of 2.5 lanes for like the next year. So
by the Galleria.
That loop area is already a nightmare.
Wow. Too bad.
Good
for
thing
people who live, we get to take back roads.
Yeah.
So we live in a that's what I was telling Pete. I was like, back home, the thing is where we live, there's back streets to everything.
In the third.
So in the third. So
You
I'm
can
able
take
to take Alabama everywhere,
100%.
So I
Richmond,
take Alabama.
Alabama.
I cut through places, all the back streets. And
Westheimer, Montrose, everything's all around here.
Yeah. So I rarely get on the freeway unless I have to. The only time is when we go to We Rock the Spectrum because I have no choice. And we jump on the freeway,
It ain't that far.
And even to shoot to the southeast isn't that bad because you just catch 45, and before you know it, you're passing up El Bolillo.
Yeah.
And then, boom, Edgebrook, Scarsdale.
Yeah, so.
As Penny gets older, by the way, speaking of We Rock Spectrum, it's going to be fun seeing y'all go to the other indoor playgrounds just to see how she interacts with, like, kids as she gets older. Because we take the twins to the shit like that all the time, and, I mean, it's fun for them, but I'm like, I guess you get tired already.
Which is the one y'all go to?
Dude, Monkey Joe's is great.
Monkey Joe.
Urban Air in Sugarland is more for bigger kids, like the indoor trampoline place. And there's a couple other ones. There's a lot of cool ones in Houston.
Yeah. It's definitely, there's a bunch of them in LA when I was trying to find an indoor playground for her. There was the My Gym, which we became members of because it was just cheaper. They don't really do drop-ins either. So
and it was like necessary because after you notice like, okay, now she's played out, like she burned some energy or got some interaction. She's not as restless like she was around kids. It's not just like, daddy taking you for a stroll or like, oh, hey, you're going to sit with Sissy now and you're going to watch Pika Pika on YouTube. So on and so forth.
And they just pass out.
Yeah, because it was like I'd take her to her class to go play. We'd walk back. I'd give her a pouch, like her little food. We walked back, and by the time we made it to the apartment, that was her nap time. I was able to get some work done or laundry, whatever it was that I was able to do in that little span of time that she napped, and it was great. You know what I'm saying? But the My Gym here is 20 minutes away from us, or 22 minutes away from us. So. We Rock the Spectrum is about the same distance. So versus 17-minute walk.
So we're going to have mainly Sol is going to have her work cut out for herself, planning and executing this move. I'm going to just call it a move to where we're going to be back and forth, Houston and LA, like Robert Ory. Back and forth, strategically though, right? You have pilot season out there. There's a specific improvisation class that I need to sign up for, because I got to keep my tools sharp, baby.
I mean, there's tons of comedians that do that. Like, I was just...
Well, they should.
With Gary Owen was just on Theo's podcast.
okay.
Did you listen to that?
What? No. What
No.
did he say?
He lives. He said, yeah. He goes. Theo asked him about that living out here. He goes, yeah, I did it for like 3 months, something like that. Like,
L.A.
yeah. He goes, I'm all good. I don't need to live out here. You know, I don't want to be in this mess of a city. So I think he
Where's
lives
he
in,
based out of again?
I
Is
think
it
it's like
Atlanta?
Atlanta or St. Louis, something like that. And then
I'm curious.
Nick
Yeah.
Swartzen is another one.
Where's Nick live?
Minnesota, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
But what does he do? He comes to L.A. when necessary?
Yeah, just when necessary. I mean,
Well, how'd you hear about Nick Swartzen doing that?
on it was also on Theo's podcast.
I need to listen to that because he was performing at the Improv while Jesus Trejo was doing the Spanish comedy show at the other room.
Which you did.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So I did 10 minutes Spanish, straight fire, straight heat rocks, straight zingers. Ding, 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 ding. I didn't have to say como se dice, not once.
Oh, you told me about that. How,
you know what I'm
how-
saying?
Yeah.
But so that was my main shit. I tried to go in as prepared as possible, and I picked the jokes that I felt would translate best. You know,
Yeah.
because some things are like midwife. Oh, that'd be partera. It doesn't work. The joke
Right,
that you know what I
right.
mean.
How was Swartzen in that mix? How do I?
Oh, I'm sorry. He was performing in the main room.
Oh, gotcha.
So he was in the actual Improv, but they have this like little side bar area that they turned into a room. But it was cool, man. Shout out to Jesus Trejo and Fabricio and the guys, Francisco, for putting that together and including me. But
what a cool environment, man, for y'all to be in.
I mean, it was honestly, like I said, because I got to sit back and watch, not be in the mix working. I had a little combo with him one night, and I said, "Wow, I hate to admit this, but I feel like you need to be out here, like at least for a little bit, and then we go back home."
because, dude, like I said earlier, it's like you're at the Laugh Factory. You're doing the Spanish shit. You're doing this Intocable thing. You're on Big Boy show. You're on B-Real show. You're on Dean Del Rey show. I was on George Perez Stories, his podcast. I have a couple scripts I need to read. I'm
Nice.
taking classes, networking.
It was
and
a
stuff.
lot, and
Meeting fans, growing the fan base. You
Yeah.
know, shaking hands.
Yeah, so it's when I realized, and I told him, I said,
A lot of stage time. It was great. you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you do. It's the world that you work in. It's like somebody that wants to work in oil and gas and doesn't live in a major market where there's oil and gas. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck are you doing then?
yeah,
Yeah.
very true.
Big, yeah. So Houston's a shit in many ways, but we need to tap into.
I mean,
that
I love
LA.
home. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. Like,
And then there's other
and
markets.
me driving around here, I was like, oh my god, it's just like so much better to drive around here. I don't.
It doesn't make our traffic seem as bad,
No,
obviously.
No.
I love my traffic now.
No, I try. Yeah.
I love my.
I look
traffic.
forward to our traffic.
I'm okay
We're
now.
gonna make
with
that.
sitting
If
in
you're
traffic.
okay with our traffic now, we need to make that shirt. I love my traffic.
Like I love my
Yeah.
traffic.
Okay.
Like this is this
Houston,
traffic.
keep your traffic. That's a nice amount of traffic.
Yeah, I love our traffic.
You know, it gives you time to check the gram.
like
you know.
it's the right. We have the right amount of
Ladies,
traffic.
fix your makeup. It's really like that's really some me time. That's really what
Yeah.
that is.
Yo, Joey Diaz was
Audiobooks.
talking about like the same thing. I love when Joey gets on rants about traffic, LA traffic, and all
word.
that shit.
Okay.
So hit that, and he's also talking about the immigration thing. Rogan asked him about it, and he goes, "Have you ever thought that we're just fucking full? Have you just thought that we're just full? There's no room anywhere. You can't come here anymore. You just can't drive anywhere. Ubers and taxis and cars. We just don't have any more room." And like that's exactly how
He's
I
talking
feel.
about L.A.
Yeah,
or
just in general, the United States.
he really feels like we're full.
Yeah,
No.
he made that. But specifically,
You ever been to Amarillo, Texas?
specifically in LA? Specifically in LA.
Oh, okay, yeah, they look full
Yeah,
over there. Yeah, it's
They look like they need some people to trickle out.
yeah.
yeah, like hey, some of y'all ain't
Like,
gonna
listen,
make it.
if you're not there and you have not, if you're still there after 10 years and you have not gone, this is my.
That's fucked up. You about to crush dreams right now.
If you've been out there for 10 years, and
Someone
I know
is
that
on their
it's-
11th year.
I know that
about
it's hard.
to break.
I know that it's hard because so many people out there are literally trying to make it in this industry, right? In the entertainment industry. But I feel like if you're at 10 years and you haven't gotten a commercial, it's probably time that we switch careers
Well-
and maybe jump into it a different way. If you really love that industry so bad,
You
maybe
have to jump into it a different way.
maybe you start creating your own content. You start doing it.
We should be doing that anyway.
Yeah, and plus, no, but to her point, man, there's a lot of delusion. There's a lot of entitlement. There's a lot of like lack of knowledge in terms of like, hey, if you're an actor, this isn't for everybody, but if you're an actor that's just kind of waiting around and you're not taking classes, you're just fucking Ubering in the daytime and you kind of audition from time to time, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Because you got to be networking and creating friends with, you know, writers and people that are like, you know, YouTubers and directors and sketch improv actors and comedians and creating stuff while you're taking a number and waiting.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of motherfuckers that think like, well, this is how I would do it. Why should I take a class? And why won't they just pick me? And I want it really bad. And I've been waiting really long. It's like, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
But I'm talented. Nobody gives a fuck. But I'm beautiful. I'm good looking. No one gives a fuck. You're not the only pretty person. Like, they can make you pretty these days.
For sure. They always point out the outliers also. Those people are like, well, so-and-so didn't pop off. Like, Rodney Dangerfield was 55 or whatever the fuck, you know. But...
Yeah,
read the book Outliers if you haven't, and then you'll know why. Get a better grasp on that. Not everyone is fucking that special.
You got to come at it from a different angle. But
you have another conference call coming up, so we might want to cut it here.
Cool, man. We briefly touched on the Cali experience, and just again, thank you. So many people, man, that came out to all the shows, and we appreciate you guys. It's good to be home. And, you know, of course, we have tour dates, and we're already planning 2020 because there's a lot of cities we didn't hit. But we're back. You know, thank you for subscribing and tuning in. So many fans of the podcast, like, we're like, yo, we listen, and man, listen at work, and, you know, so on and so forth. So
love it.
Thank you, guys, and we'll holla at you next Monday.
Whoop.
Peace. Don't forget to subscribe to the email, too. Feria Fridays. Sas.